Alright, you're all welcome to this really short tutorial about database. So if you are with your PC, I would like you to follow alongside with me. Now it's not going to be something so big, and it's just for you to at least know something about Microsoft database. So what the database software you're going to use for your advanced level is Microsoft Access. Even in the ordinary level it's Microsoft Access. So we're going to open that up, and now I am using the version of 2010. Yes, so you might be using I'm sorry, the version I'm using, it's definitely probably it's not 2007. It's not going to be the version you are using. So but most of the things there are quite similar. So we're going to open a blank database. All right, and it's going to prompt us to store a name. So I'm just going to call it slapdb. Okay, slapdb1. I'm going to do that. Then this is where you probably set your location to save. So you might want to save it on your desktop or wherever. So I'm just going to leave it here at my documents. Okay, I'll leave that path there, and I just take create. Okay, so one thing you should know: when you create a database, it saves it with an extension .accdb. all right, this is it up here, slapdb.accdb, where my cursor is. So that's something which you might be asked, the extension for a database. Now when you open it up, you have something like this. Now essentially it's a default table, and we don't want this, and this is where you close the table. So just going to close that. I'm going to come to create, and I'm going to take table or table design. Each of them can enable us create a table, but I'll take table. All right, so when this opens, I'll come here to table 1, right click and take design view. All right, so I will save this table name as, yeah, let's probably leave it as table 1. Nope. Let's leave it as cars. Let's save it as cars. Let's create a database of public cars. All right, so I save that, and it brings us this design view. Now at this design view, what you can actually do is you can input some certain fields you want to input. Now what do I mean by when I say fields? Probably under cars, what do you have under cars? You can have the car name, the car model number, maybe you have the car company, maybe you have the date the car was bought or the date the car was sold. Maybe you have the type of car, whether it's a manual car or an automatic car. This crazy kind of thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll leave that there, the ID. Okay, the ID, let me just put like entry so you understand. Auto number means you should number it automatically, number 1, number 2, number 3. So that entry is just for numbering. Okay, second thing, I'm going to take car name, and I will want to stress on the fact that in a database, the field name, okay, you should not save it with a space bar, because if you have to index it somewhere, maybe you have to say you want to take that name and use somewhere, and you forget that space bar, will worry you. So many a times it's not, you cannot even save it like that. You need to save it probably with an underscore or something in the middle. That's why, or you just join it as such. So we'll do it like that. Car name, and let's bring it to a text. So we have short text, model number. So for model number, let's take number. What else can we have? Let's just say date issued. Let's just say dates. Okay, probably it's a car dealer shop where they buy cars. Okay, so date should be like date of buy of the car, the day the car was bought. All right, okay, so we have this pop-up here. It says name is applied is a reserved word. Reserved words have specific meaning to Microsoft Access. So date actually is a data type, so we're not going to use that. We're going to just put date issued, so it should be different. And this is the data type, a date or time. That's what we want. So that's why you cannot use dates. And probably if you want to put time, you're probably not going to be able to put time. All right, so I don't know. Okay, time is available, but it's funny because date is not available, but time is available. Okay, that's Microsoft's problem. So what else after date issued? Probably we're going to take, okay, probably that should be it. So let's delete this row. All right, so we'll have those 4 things. So for entry is an automatic number. For car name is just a really short text. For, okay, please, for the text size, now if you look down here, field properties, alright, if you look down here, you can actually edit some things here. So you have field size, 255. Okay, so we can increase or decrease it, so I'm just going to leave it at 100. Okay, now please, if you're doing something like a name of a person, I don't think a name of a person can reach 50 characters unless the name is really absurd. Okay, unless the name is really absurd, but the field size should be something, the maximum should not be too much. Okay, don't put it at 500 when you know that it's not going to reach 500. Why? So that you are saving database space. Okay, so if you put a very large number and you don't even exhaust it, it's going to be wastage of space. So probably let's just leave this thing at 20. Input mask, no. So formats, some of these things have dropped down, so if you don't know what's happening you can look at it, but forget about all of that. Required, meaning that must the name be there or not. So what I'm going to do for car name, I'm going to change from short text to lookup wizard. Okay, lookup wizard will give you a drop down, so when this pop-up comes, I will type in the values that I want, you take next, and right here under the column 1, we just want one column, write some names. Okay, so let's just say Toyota Corolla. Yeah, I wrote Corolla because I remembered the pandemic right now. So let's just say Toyota Corolla, a Mercedes, what else? A Porsche. Let's take a Lambo. Okay, so let's just take finish. So we have a drop down there. Model number is a number, and let's make it an integer, not a long integer. Let's make it an integer, and let's make it required, meaning you cannot skip this table. Okay, you cannot skip it. So if you take no, meaning you can skip it. If you take yes, is, for example, probably you're filling a form online and they ask you for your name, your age, and then for age they put optional. Okay, but they ask you for your email, and then for your email they put required. You can fill in your name, you can fill in your age if you like, but your email, it must be there. Okay, you cannot proceed without filling in your email. That's so required means you cannot proceed without filling in model number. Okay, so when we have that, let's just save this, and if you saved, Control S will save it. Please, Control S. If you're using a Mac computer, it will be Command S. So we're going to close it up and double click on this, and you have that. Okay, so this is where you can start filling in things into your table. So for car name, if we come under car name, we see a drop down. Okay, so we can take any car we want. Let's just say the first car was a Toyota, or let's just take a Mercedes, and model number, we'll change this model number to something 111. The date issued, now for dates, it's to date and time, it gives us a calendar, so you can actually use the calendar. So let's just start from 1st of May. Secondly, we have a Toyota Corolla, and let's change this to 112. Date, let's take 2nd May, and right here I'm going to do something different. Instead of using something in the drop down, I'm going to try to type something different. Okay, in the drop down we have Toyota Corolla, we have Mercedes. If you come here and you type T, it's going to show you Toyota Corolla because it's in the drop down. If you type, excuse me, if you type L, okay, Lamborghini, is going to show you that. But probably if you type in like Z, it's going to just, nothing is popping up because it doesn't recognize any Z. Okay, so we're going to, what other cars do we have? We're going to probably type a RAV4. It's a Toyota product, so let's just put RAV4. Sorry, it's not going to go with RAV4 because we put it to be strictly text, so it's going to worry us. Let's just put RAV. Okay, and let's take it to 113, and the date, let's say date is the 5th. And then right here on the let's take this Lamborghini, and we'll take 114. Alright, and let's just take it to the 5th. Take it to the 5th. So we have that. Automatically everything is saved, so we can close this without even bothering to save, because when you open it you still have the same thing. Alright, so if you probably want to add another field, you can add it here. Okay, these are fields, so you can add another field here, a short text, a number, all of those, but we're not going to do that now. That's how to basically create a table and put data inside. Trust me, in your GCE practicals they'll tell you create a table, and you'll be surprised. You may not know how to answer the following questions, but you're actually going to be issued marks because you created the table. So another thing we're going to create is a query. Okay, now what is a query? Is basically passing instructions to a database table. So we're going to create a query, let's just say, to display the car name and the date, sorry, the car model number and the date issued. So if we come to create, we take query design and we choose the tables we have. Now actually we have just one table card, so we're going to just take add and then we'll close this up. What's the field we want? We want the field, what do you want to display? Okay, the car model and the date issued. So I'm just going to take car model number, and here I'm going to take date issued. Alright, from the table cards. Okay, so if you take sort, it's going to sort in ascending, descending, or not sorted. So I want to sort it, actually I want to sort it in descending order. Alright, the model number, and you cannot sort dates in descending order. I don't know, probably you can, but let's take it, leave it like so. And this show is whether you should show the table or not. If you don't want to show the table, you might as well not even include the table. So let's just leave it as so. We save as query one. Yeah, let's just save it as so. And if you close this, open query one, you now see you have just model number and the date issued. So we have created a query. Okay, so you have learned how to create a table, learned how to create a query, and the next thing we can create is a relationship. Okay, so if I now, relationships are really tricky. You cannot do relationships with just one table. This is where you take relationships to go to create, and then over here, excuse me. Alright, sorry, my eyes are failing me for reasons I really don't know. Yeah, but whatever. What I was saying about relationships is you might be asked to create a relationship between tables. Now when they want you to create a relationship, is basically saying that if you have this table, table A, table B, how do these two tables relate to each other? Okay, now there is something I forgot to mention. If we go back to cars, to the design view, we have what is called a primary key. Okay, this is the primary key entry. Now I don't want that to be a primary key. Now what is primary key? This is like the main index reference key. Okay, saying that this key, if the entity in this key should actually be filled. Okay, it's like saying, okay, you are the boss. Okay, I will give you a really precise definition in the tutorials. Now for this table, I want the primary key to be model number, so I just do that, right click here and I take primary key, or I use this button on off. Okay, so that's the primary key, and yeah, this is where you create a relationship. So if I create relationship and I just click that, tables is just cars. Okay, so if I take add and I close, normally with relationships it's a drag and drop to identify some certain things. So let's close this. Let's take note. Let's probably just create another table. Create another table, and let's call, anyway, the first thing we have an ID. Well, the first thing we have an ID, and let's take auto number. The second thing, I want to use this table for public customers who bought the car. Okay, so I'm just going to, under this we have model number. Okay, let's take model number. And last but not least, let's just take car name. Let's save this as customer car. Okay, now if you do not put a primary key, it will prompt you to put a primary key. Alright, so although a primary key isn't required, it is highly recommended. A table must have a primary key for you to define a relationship between this table and other tables. So to define relationships, you need a primary key, and we want to actually see how you can define a relationship. I'm going to take cancel, I'm going to put model number to be a primary key, save it, and customer car, yes, close. And I want to go back to cars. We have model number. Go to the design view, and yeah, on the design view of cars, you have model number. It's a number. okay, and it's an integer down here, so I'm just going to go down and do the same thing. I need to take number, and down here it's an integer. Save. Car name, it's a short text and it's text size of 20, so I just want to repeat that. Save it. Okay, so if we were supposed to create a relationship, we'll go to create, query design, and we'll just choose these two tables, cars and customers. I'm going to stay close. Okay, stay close. And now if you see something is already linked up, okay, model number. Why? Because here you have model number and you have model numbers, they match, so it's something that the database has already realized that there's a relationship between these tables, and the relationship is the model number of the car. Alright, so you have car name too, but it linked this because it has a primary key here. So if we take car name and want to drag and drop to car name, it links up, so you can take date issue to ID. You can do all of that. So if you want to remove the linking, you right click on any arrow, delete. Hold up, it's really tricky to click on the arrow. Voila. Okay, so you can do that. So I want to link the model number of this to this, so I do that. And if you right click and you take join properties, you have a really, this is a lot because I am doing everything at the suffix just so you have an idea. Okay, probably for those of you who are going to leave for school anytime soon, boarding school in particular, you're not going to have this to follow up with. So you have join properties. You can join by left table name, right table name, blah blah blah. So if I just take OK and I decide to save as query 2 and I open query 2, a query must have at least one destination field. Alright, so this is a little bit different. So I'm going to take field. I'm going to take from field I want cars, and from field here I want a customer car, and yes, saving that. Good. So I have not really, if you go back to the design view, I have not shown anything. Okay, I have not decided to print out anything to display anything, but that is how you create a relationship. Okay, so you will actually be taught more on this, have no doubt. You actually be taught more on this, but this is at least the forefront you need to know. So I can delete this, join it back, and do something else. Okay, join properties. Maybe I take number 2, include all the records from cars and only those records from customer car where the joint fields are equal. Okay, so I do that and I save that and I open this, and now it shows me something. Now what does it show me? Let me open the design view of the query 2. Somebody say, oh my god, wow, I really want to open the design view of this, but okay, both cannot be open at the same time. So if I open query 2, you have Mercedes and you have the car mod, you have the car name. Okay, keep in mind that the car name is from the table cars. I'll show you here. Okay, let me expand this. Cars.car name, meaning that the table cars, car name is taken from the table cars. Cars.car model, model number is taken from the table cars. Now the date issued, we all know we do not have any date issued in the customer car here. You do not have any date issued, so apparently I've not even filled this table. And so lastly, you have ID, you have customer car, and from customer car what do you have? Let me close this. ID is from customer car, model number from customer car, and what? Car name from customer car. So if I go to customer car table and I model number, let's say 111. What was a 111 year? Mercedes. And here let's take 115. Okay, let's take 114 for the Lambo. Please make sure you spell everything the way it's supposed to be spelled. So we save that and we close that, and if you open a query 2, good. So now it actually makes sense because under customer car you have something, and the query 2. Now based on our linking, that's why you see nothing here. So if I go to the design view and I right click, I take join properties, include rows where the join fields from both tables are equal, include all rows from cars, and only those records from customer car where the join fields are equal. So apparently they are not equal. Yes, so that's why you have nothing. The third, you have include all records from customer car and only those from car records where the join fields are equal. So let's see that. Let's save that and let's open this. And yeah, you now see something. You see a difference. If you don't see a difference, you should check yourself. Okay. So I'm really sorry. The tutorial right now is really at the suffix. It's up the way we see it in Cameroon dialect. But some of you are understanding, and I really hope that those who are not understanding, you actually come forth with your questions. So you have two entries, 1 and 4, and entry 1 from the car name is Mercedes, entry 4 from the car name is Lamborghini, and under ID from the model number it is from ID. Sorry, the only place where ID is from customer car. So you have 1 and 2 to be Mercedes and Lamborghini, practically, because that's all we put there. So let's just see what happens if we add another one. Let's just say 100. Okay, and let's just put a bike there. I'll open this. Now you're not going to see bike because you have no model number for bike. Okay, so what this has done is, I will read this to you again. Include all records from customer car and only those records from cars. Okay, customer car and cars are the tables where the join fields are equal. Alright, so right here, the 100 bike, it doesn't equate to anything under cars. Okay, so probably if I change this from cars, let's just say I put it to 113, and I open query 2, it's going to show me something. Alright, it's going to show number 3 bike. Okay, just because you have initialized that this 113. Okay, you have given that model number 113. So if it was something like 1123, okay, so it doesn't realize it. Alright, it doesn't realize that car model number because of the entry. The entries are not the same. So you have Mercedes, you have, I'm just going to really delete this. A bike is not a car, please. Nobody should be fooled. Aha. Okay, so alright, so it's deleted. So on a query it shows that it's deleted. So if you add, it will show. If it's deleted, it will show. So basically this is the overview of database. This is the overview of database, and SQL is a whole different thing. So probably some of you might want to see the SQL code of your table or your design or your query or whatever, but I would advise you learn how to write your SQL codes. Now SQL codes are really different. Some of them are really complex, some of them are much more easier. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, and I really hope we actually have time to look at everything. So if this is query 1, if this is cars, we click here, we right click. You cannot see the SQL code for a table, but you can see the SQL code for a query. So we right click here and see SQL code, and boom. Now SQL is a structured query language which is used to get something from database. Alright, it's actually a query code, structured query language. So this is the code from which it is, by which it is gotten. So apparently, yes, so this is your introduction to SQL. Okay, so I hope from here you have some knowledge. This is not a full class, it is just a forefront of the kind of things database is all about. Okay, I've shown you your primary key. A foreign key is something else, we'll talk about that. This is SQL. You now know how to do relationships. At least you can create a table, which, trust me, it will earn you marks and marks and marks. So thank you for at least following. Remember, this video is from Slap, and we are really grateful for your attention. Slap out.